Hello, welcome to the new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at Shadow Arcanine with the buffed fast move of FANG. And yeah, Niantic messed up a little bit again as well in the beginning of the season, which we're going to talk about in this video as well. Not every change is live yet, which is going to be, of course, not really ideal, because I actually want to showcase Starmie at this point, which we can't. Any Pokemon that got a new move added did not get the move added, which is not really ideal, I would say, in the beginning of the season. So yeah, hopefully while I do this video, hopefully Niantic is going to be able to fix that issue, because yeah, currently it is still not there yet. Also, another issue, of course, other than all of the Pokemon like Lyscore, Bibarel not getting the move updates that they're supposed to get, there's also the change from 50-second switch timer again to 60-second switch timer, even though in the blog post they say that they keep the 50 seconds. So it is a classic day of, yeah, the first week or like the first day of the new season when Niantic is gonna mess up some things. And yeah, hopefully it's gonna be fixed very soon. But yeah, that's just something that is currently happening. Otherwise, all of the other move changes are actually happening. So FANG got buffed, FANG got just as expected. The energy update from 5 to 6. Like the other elemental fangs, which is something that we all kind of thought would happen. We didn't know it directly, but there's one move basically that we really didn't know what was happening, and we're gonna talk about this one now. And that's going to be Bulldoze. The only thing that we know about Bulldoze before how the move update happened was that Bulldoze is a move that does 45 damage now. But we were hoping that's basically 35 energy, which is not the case. It is 45 energy, which means you have a move that barely does any damage, that needs still a solid amount of energy, that has a 50% chance to drop the opponent's defense. It is not worth it. Like, no matter which Pokemon has this move, I don't think there's a single Pokemon that wants to have this move, other than maybe Zygarde. The Zygarde is like maybe a Pokemon that could have some play with this move, but anything else, I cannot see Bulldoze having any play. I think it's actually nearly even worse than it was before. So yeah, Bulldoze, sadly not a move update that is really impactful. Maybe in the future though. I would like to see them updating the move again for the future, but right now, like, it's not going to be a move that I would recommend you to choose. The rest is all kind of what we expected. Like, well, most was just a power update anyway, which is usually shown already before. But yeah, as you can see here as well, already in the second battle, we have a very good boy in Arcanine farming on the opponent. One more thing, of course, if you have not opened Pokemon Go so far for the day and you want to claim your rewards, please feel free to use the Star Piece. I got 300,000 Stardust here as well, which is really nice. And now we can also talk a little bit about the team here. The team is definitely heavily inspired by the team that went already 5-0 on my girlfriend's channel. Definitely check that one out as well. Link is down in the description. We had a very fun time with a very similar team there. They only changed the last Pokemon, which we are not gonna say here, with Arcanine. Arcanine is definitely going to be an interesting Pokemon. I would see it mainly as a closer, but also could have some play as a Pokemon that could, yeah, function basically in the lead. By the way, at this exact point of time, Go Battle League battles are now 50 seconds again, and the Pokemon got their moves. So that is kind of great. This all literally just changed just now. At the point of recording, so at least the things that I said in the beginning are kind of gone at this point, which is really good. So yeah, took Niantic a total of 56 minutes to realize their mistakes. So 50-second switch timer is back, which is really cool, and also the Pokemon have known their moves, which is going to be most likely showcased in the future, which is going to be hopefully very nice as well. Here we're going to see Marowak going to sadly knock us out in the third battle. We can move on to the next opponent. This team, generally speaking, definitely worked out really well. I like this team quite a bit. There's a lot of play for this team, as especially the Arcanine makes a lot of sense here. Garchomp and Arcanine have a great synergy. Garchomp only being weak to Grass-type Pokemon, while, yeah, that's definitely something that Arcanine can deal with. But Arcanine also going to have access to the move Wild Charge. Wild Charge is going to be crucial in order to get rid of Flying-type Pokemon, while the type effectiveness of Flying is not really, like, it's just neutral against Water, and Ground-type Pokemon. Ground-type Pokemon are not really doing a lot of damage against Flying-type Pokemon, and so having that coverage is really good, which you also have on the Morpeko. Morpeko is by far the best Sasop in the current meta. Morpeko also got buffed with Thundershock. We're most likely going to have a separate video towards this Pokemon as well, but it already looked really strong here, and I could see this being one of the best Pokemon to run in lead as well, to align yourself, because you have so much potential with the different kind of options that you can go for the Morpeko, as you have access to, of course, the Psychic Fangs, but also depending on how you can maneuver around, you're going to have, their charge move with a different typing, which can be very impactful. You're going to see the Ariados coming in, and we are luckily going to be able to still go for another Earth Power against the opponent's Feraligatr. This is going to be very good for us, as you're going to get a ton of damage onto them. We can swap out into our Morpeko. Morpeko is going to definitely take that hit, just as a sponge, and we're gonna have now the Arcanine farming them down, and the Ariados also doesn't have any chance here at all. So Shadow Shiny Arcanine, of course, is going to be a very good Pokemon to run. Here we're going to have the Confusion Cresselia against us. And look at the damage of Morpeko, it is ridiculous. Like, this is one of the most bulkiest Pokemon, and after like just such a short time, we are able to get to that Aureal. They're gonna go for the Grass now, which is totally fine. Oh, they're going to the Swampert, and I'm just gonna go for another Aureal. Why do I do this? Because I want to get the attack buff, which you're gonna see right here as well, because I can go for another one. And the opponent expects me to go for the Psychic Fangs because it's a neutral one, but Aureal does way more damage. It's going to be a stab move. It's only single resisted because of the water typing, and with this, we're gonna be able to now get them into farmdown range. And with the buffed Thunder Shock, this is just doing so much damage against everything here at this point, where even this usually a very weak fast move is chunking up quite a bit. Here we were able to go for the Psychic Fangs, dropping the opponent's defense, and look in what a bad spot the opponent is going to be here. They're going to go for a charge move here with a Skeledirge, that's fine. Shadow Ball it is. Shadow Ball is going to get us low, but look at the Cresselia coming back in. We can go for the full farm down with that Fire Fang, and this is basically a good game, as a one more Wild Charge is all it really takes here. So, let's take a look now at the next opponent. We're going to have a Mightyena. This is actually a Pokemon that got buffed as well, with 3 different moves. It has all Elemental Fangs. This is also maybe a Pokemon that could have some Elemental Fangs, but I don't think that the Alone Raticate is going to have the best moveset here with the Bite. Bite is not really ideal on this Pokemon. Also, we have already 2 Dark-type Pokemon from the opponent, so yeah, it's most likely not the best team that you could run for yourself, but that is totally fine. As you can see here, Aureal is going to do no resisted damage, which doesn't matter because the opponent uses a shield, and so we can still reach another one before they can go for any charge move at all. And we are at +3 attack, we have switch advantage, we have shield advantage. Very difficult for the opponent to come back, especially if they're going to run in a Zumbo with the fast move of Rock Smash. That is not really what you would expect, at least in battles. That's the thing as well, it's something I really find interesting. A lot of times if you're like a little bit lower ELO range, which we of course here are because the season reset, I feel a lot of people actually have the Pokemon, but they have so many times the wrong moves on the Pokemon. Like even also in like my local community, I had like people as well where they played the Ox defense, where they're like wondering why this Pokemon doesn't do anything, but they're running as a headbutt or a counter. So if you're ever unsure about which move you kind of want to run, just go into a PvP poke. Like they always recommend a certain move set, which is usually the generally best move set to go for. Some certain Pokemon you might want to change a little bit up just to counter certain Pokemon. But if you just start into PvP, the easiest thing is just to go onto PvP poke and just look up the move set, and it's going to be the best way of just distinguishing what kind of moves you want to have, and then you don't end up with a Rock Smash on a Zumuro. Here we see Greedent, which is actually a very difficult Pokemon for us to deal with, and I'm actually making a mistake as well. I should have went for a charge move beforehand, but I tried to be a bit greedy here, try to go for the full farm down. Definitely did not work out at all. And now it's going to be a jump up in the back. I can go for the big hard hitting move here, and that's going to be great. Aureal coming through, gonna get them very, very low. We are at plus, I think at +2 at this point actually. And when we can go for the Psychic Fang, it's gonna be able to do some, solid debuffs, I guess, because the opponent decides to use a shield. We can go for another charge move here, and they are going to be shields down now, and that is going to be fine because I can let the move go through, and we still have the Arcanine in order to deal with the opponent, and I think they're at I think they're at -1 at this point as well. We're going to see the Grimer coming in. Grimer can be a bit tricky, having access to Mud Bomb as well as also Mud Slap if they wanted to. Here they're running Poison Jab though. We're going to be able to catch the move, which is the most crucial thing here as well, allowing us to catch it on to our ground type Pokemon. We can go for the full farm down, and the Jumpluff has no chance anymore against our Arcanine, as the Psychic Fangs is going to now be able to land, and we can move on to the next opponent. Next opponent, we're going to have the Krokorok here. Krokorok is going to be one of the Pokemon that got buffed basically with Bulldoze, and yeah, let's see how this matchup is going to go for us. We will see that the yeah, opponent's gonna let the move go through. It's gonna be a body slam only, which is totally fine, but that's already a lot of damage, which is all I kinda need. And as you all see here, we're gonna get the defense stop as well from the boulders, so we know it's gonna be updated now. It is definitely not the best move. Like, you have option as well, basically here for this Pokemon, just to see on how bad this move kinda is. Like, you have 45 damage for 45 energy. You also have at the same Pokemon, I think Crunch, which does, I think it does 70 damage for 45 energy, which is also not a great move, but you have a 30% chance of dropping the opponent's defense. So for a 20% chance to drop the defense, which you don't even know if you're going to be able to use because the opponent can just farm down, you basically sacrifice 25 damage, which just doesn't make sense. Like, it just doesn't make sense at all. And then you have Brick Break, which is cheaper and is 40-40. And just does a 100% debuff. So, like, that's the thing as well. That's why I just didn't really understand the move change there from the Niantic. Either give it more damage or give it less energy, and it would be a decent move to go for. Right now, Boulders is not a move that's really usable. Here, I would have most likely been able to win this battle if the opponent didn't get the 10% chance of boosting with the Ancient Power against us, because now they're going to be able to survive those moves, which they very likely would have not been able to otherwise, which is what it is. It's a chance there. It is totally fine. And we can now move on to the next opponent. Komala is going to be next here. This Pokemon is gonna have also buff, I guess, with the Boulders. Boulders also on this Pokemon, but yeah, generally speaking, they're usually just gonna go for the hard-hitting move here, and it's going to be the hard-hitting payback. And that is going to be a bit of a problem, because as you can see already, our guest one is a bit lower than I expected, but at least you're going to be able to get a shield, and we're also going to be able to go for another charge move here as well. And it's going to be the body slam. They use another shield, and we can just swap out into the Morpeko. I just need energy. Morpeko with energy is basically unbeatable, because, like, if you think about it, electric type moves, what cannot hit? Like, yeah, maybe ground type Pokemon, but we have the psychic and dark type moves for this one. Dark type moves cannot really hit fire type Pokemon. We have the psychic type move for that one. Like, it's basically always a perfect coverage. I don't think there's a single Pokemon that can resist every. Oh no, there's actually. No, never mind. There's actually, I don't think there's a single Pokemon that can resist every single thing here. Oh no, actually, I think Dark and Electric type Pokemon would also resist every single thing. Like, it basically resists itself here with Morpeko, which is hilarious. Next opponent is going to have Greninja here. This is going to be a Pokemon again that I definitely enjoy quite a bit. It's my favorite Pokemon, just generally speaking, not for PvP directly, even though for PvP it's also a lot of fun. But for me, for PvP, my top Pokemon is for sure Morpeko. Morpeko is my favorite one. Definitely by far here, as you can see, the opponent is going to be very low, but we have our Morpeko and we can fully farm them down. One fast move only, that is kind of ridiculous. And in comes the Morpeko's answer here. It's going to be the Aromatisse, doing some very good damage against us. Where we're still going to try our best, as we will see the shield is coming up. Now they're going to be in a positive spot, because I cannot go for the electric type damage anymore. I cannot go for any electric type damage there at all, or like any damage generally speaking, because they're going to get farmed down before. But we can try to retaliate by fully farming them down with Arcanine. Arcanine is going to take this one for sure, getting a ton of energy, getting up to 2 Psychic Fangs, and just generating energy so much faster. It's definitely a huge improvement what it was before, basically. And so, yeah, Arcanine for sure a Pokemon that I would recommend you to actually build right now. I have to say, this Pokemon was so much fun. I do think it's a great Pokemon to have. With the Fire Fang move update, this Pokemon has actually basically everything it kind of needs. And yeah, I definitely enjoyed this one. It definitely was a good Pokemon to run. And we can now move on to the second class battle. Gardevoir. Gardevoir is going to be totally fine. Again, actually we went, I think, on a 8 or 10 game win streak with this team so far. Let me actually see. It was a 7 game win streak here so far. There were some battles in the beginning which I definitely also misplayed a little bit, but it's fine. We saw that one battle there against that player with the Galarian Moltres was boosted, which is like also a very, very good player that plays a lot of the tournaments. So like, I'm totally fine with this one. We're having some fun here in the early on in the season. I think it's going to be the best approach anyway. There are a lot of fun move updates that I kind of want to take a look at. And so hopefully you're going to be stay tuned there as well, and like excited for what is coming up for the channel here for the future, because there are a lot of interesting Pokemon that I kind of want to take a look at. Here we're going to have a very tough matchup. We're going to have Altaria against us, a Dragon-type Pokemon, and also part Flying. That is very awkward for us, because we have Fire Fang getting resisted, and we have Mudslap being double resisted there. But luckily, because of the energy generation, we're going to be able to go for double Psychic Fangs. This forces the opponent to use a shield here most likely, and we can now swap out into the Gas Run. We can get to a Body Slam, and at -2, the opponent will not be able to take one here, and we're going to be able to flip that matchup and move on to the next opponent. Greninja against us again here, and so let's see on how this is going to go this time around for the opponent. we will see that they're gonna decide to go ahead and go for the Hydro Cannon. Gonna get us kinda low, we can go for the Body Slam, and kinda we always would like to swap out of here, I would imagine. And here we could even get maybe the full farm not done, as Thunder Shock again is doing a little bit more damage, which is really nice. Night Surge is coming through, that's totally okay as well. We're gonna try our best, but we're gonna see the opponent swapping out into a Jumpluff, which is not an answer. Jumpluff is not an answer for this Pokemon here. It is definitely not, and as you will see here, we can go for another Aura Wheel. Aura Wheel is coming through. Aura Wheel is going to be able to connect and do, get the shield here from the opponent, which is really good. In comes another Charge Move from them, and it's going to be the Aerial Ace, and it's not going to be enough to knock us out. We can go for the Psychic Fangs here. This is going to be enough to definitely knock out the opponent, and we can now see what they have in the bag, which is going to be Greninja, gonna go down to 2 Thunder Shocks, and it's down to the final one, which is going to be a Drifloon, and this is going to be a very good game, because we can go for that big Wild Charge against the opponent, easily and knocking out the opponent as well at this time, as the opponent goes for the Ice Beam to drop our own attack, but Wild Charge is going to be enough. And that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed the showcase of the good boy Arcanine here, and I will see you then. Bye bye.